Well, hello there everybody, and welcome to Unit 3. In Unit 1 we learned about computer hardware, what is a machine capable of doing and how do things happen sort of under the surface. In Unit 2 we learned a little bit about the types of software. In Unit 3 we're going to go more into software. What are the programming languages and what sort of features do they have that allow you to actually write application software or system software to control what the user does on a piece of hardware. So, what is it that we're going to be doing? What you're going to learn? How have programming languages evolved over the last 50 or, well, 60 or 70 years, like since about the 1950s? What features are prevalent in groups of programming languages that evolved at about the same time? We'll talk about programming languages in terms of generations of those languages and see what sort of things they had in common with each other, and how subsequent generations of languages focused on things that just weren't as either important or weren't even possible at the times of the earlier generations. And then, what are some of the specific features of important or popular programming languages used today? You'll actually roll up your sleeves a little bit. So how are you going to learn this stuff? Here's what you're going to do. You're going to watch two different videos that I made. One on the generations of programming languages, and one on a couple of specific third-generation languages, where we'll go over some examples of code and some of the features that they have to do. You're going to take a quiz. This is the first quiz that you've had in this course, but it's not a big deal. It's only 6 questions, and you get 3 chances, and I'll only keep the highest score. The point of this quiz is that after you've looked at the 2 videos, and they're a little bit longer, or at least one of them is a little bit longer than the videos I've put up here before, there's some pretty dense information in it. I want you to make sure that you've gotten some of the important points out of it. So you'll be testing yourself on it, taking the quiz. Go ahead, watch the videos, take the quiz, see if you remembered all of it. If you didn't, go back and look at the appropriate part of the videos again. I expect everybody can get 100% on this quiz, and I would like you to work on it until you do so. You're each going to be researching one specific language. I'll give you a choice of about 8 or 10 of them, and submit a short report that answers a few questions about the language, when and where it was created, who used it, some of the features, and so on. So you'll have to do a little bit of digging about a specific language. And you're going to do some programming. Now, some of you are already programmers. Some of you have taken an AP Computer Science course or a GOA class, or done some other work where you actually wrote real programs, debugged them, had them execute. That isn't required for this course, so this last assignment will go in at 2 different levels. If you haven't done any programming in either Python or JavaScript, you can go through the Code Academy tutorials on those languages. Go through the entire Python set or the entire JavaScript set, and that's going to take you a while. That might take 8 to 10 hours to go through, which includes actually writing little bits of code and getting it checked right away with lots of hints. And then you have to prove to me that you've actually done that. Or if you're already proficient at either Python or Java, notice that's not the same as JavaScript, but some of you have done Python programming, some of you have done Java programming, you can demonstrate your programming capability by going to the Coding Bat website and doing like 12 of their exercises, where it says, here, I need you to write a program to do this. And you write the program and you run it, and it tells you it worked on 17 of the cases, but not the other 3. And you don't get any hints about what's wrong with the code. You just are told what happened when it was executed. This is for people that already have some programming background. And you can choose that as an alternative. So let's take a look now at what you'll see in the GOA Canvas website and what's due when. So here's what you've got coming up. Now my screen looks a little bit different than yours because I've got teacher privileges, but you've got the same modules, the same assignments, same videos that I do. You just don't have all of these little features over on the right. You're right now looking at the overview of Unit 3. There is a discussion thread, as we've had in the first two and as we will in the next several. I expect you to be sharing information with each other, especially in this unit. Some of you have experience writing programs. Some of you don't yet have that experience. I want you to put questions down there. I want you to look at each other's questions. I want you to answer each other's questions. I want you to get into discussions. I'd like you to get into this language is better than this one for following reasons, or how do you know how to do this in a language, or has anybody done such and such? I would like this to be really lively. Notice you've got 3 weeks from October 5th to October 23rd for this unit. It's because there's a lot of material. The last assignment in particular may take you quite some time, so you'll need to start it, not just that last week. You'll have to start it sooner than that so that you can finish up. Then GOA goes into its fall break starting on October 24th, and we don't pick up again until November 2nd. So you've got 3 weeks of hard work, then you got a week off of GOA stuff. So you can get caught up on whatever other things are happening in your college applications or in the classes that you're taking at your bricks and mortar school. There are 2 videos. Let's take a look at the first one here. We're not going to play the video, but as always, there is a video. You could press play and take a look at it. Once you're done watching that video, I want you to look at these 2 websites and get some more information. You're going to have to do a little bit of research to know what's going on. This is important stuff for you to get. That it's done as well in these as I could have done in the video, so I'd like you to use that in addition to the video as a resource. And of course, then you'll be posting reflections in the Unit 3 discussion database. The second video right here, when you're done watching this video, post a reflection on the discussion thread. That's after this video, you're ready to take the quiz. After this video, you're ready to do both assignment 3B and assignment 3C. So let's take a look at those. The quiz. You haven't seen one of these yet in this GOA course. You could take this quiz up to 3 times, only your highest score will be counted. You click on Take the Quiz, and it starts presenting the questions to you. Some of the questions are multiple choice, some of them are fill in the blank. There's only 6 of them. It shouldn't take you very long to take the quiz, but I do expect that you might have to go back and do some more research to get some of the answers. Here's your 2 more substantive assignments. Assignment 3B, you're going to research one programming language out of this list, some of which you may have heard of, some which you may not have heard of. Before you pick one, you might want to take a look at some references on a few of them so that you know what would interest you. Or start a conversation with a friend in the class, somebody that you've worked with that you seem to have gotten along with, and maybe they know about some of these languages. Or put something in the discussion thread so that you could talk about it. I don't really want all of you to pick the same language, although there's nothing against that. I suspect that out of 18 of you, we'll cover quite a few of these. I want you to, for each of those, find out who invented the language, when, what are the advantages and disadvantages, what it's used for, if it's still in use today. Find an example of a few lines of code written in it. You don't have to have written them yourself. And then include a reference to the sources that you use to get your information. These sources could be reference books, it could be stuff from your school library, it could be stuff you find online, it could be a parent or a neighbor or a friend or another relative that actually does some programming, and you talk to them about these things. That would be a perfectly acceptable reference. And then the last assignment, this is the longer one, and it takes a while to describe what the assignment is. Don't just start this one at the end of the 3-week period. Allow yourself a lot of time. Now, you've got to pick one of these two options. Either go through a tutorial on the codecademy.com website, and I'll let you pick either JavaScript or Python. You can't pick this if you already know how to program in JavaScript. You can't pick the JavaScript tutorial. If you already know how to program in Python, you can't pick the Python tutorial. I want you to learn more in this class than you already knew. But if for one of those languages you don't already have any experience, you could pick that. Or you can go to more advanced topics with the codingbat.com website, which says, okay, I need to get you to write a program that does this, this, and this. The programs are fairly short. You can probably do most of them in 10 or 15 lines of code, but some of them are pretty tricky, and you'd have to do like 12 of them for me. If you're already a Java programmer or you're already a Python programmer and you want to flex your muscles and do something a little bit more challenging than just the beginning exercises in Code Academy, do the Coding Bat option. There's more details about what you need to do down here. Here's the description of the Code Academy option, and here's the description of the Coding Bat option. Make sure you read this very carefully, because in order to prove that you've done this, I'm not looking over your shoulder while you're doing the tutorial or while you're doing Coding Pad exercises. But those websites give you a status page that state, hey, they've finished 80% of this tutorial, or they've finished 90%. I want to see they've finished 100%. And on the Coding Bat, I want to see at least 12 of the assignments that you've completed without any mistake. Okay, go to it. Happy programming.